Let's be honest for a moment. If God promised you something for 25 years, finally gave it to you, and then asked for it back, how would you react? Because that is exactly what happened in this story. This is the story of Abraham and Isaac. A story about faith, trust, confusion, and obedience, even when things don't make sense. Abraham was an old man, not retirement age old, but really old. God had promised him something incredible. You will be the father of a great nation. But there was one big problem. Abraham and his wife Sarah had no children. As the years passed, the promise felt impossible. Every year that went by whispered the same question: is this ever going to happen? Yet God kept repeating his word: you will have a son. And then, after decades of waiting, Isaac was born. Isaac wasn't just a child. He was the promise, the miracle, the proof that God keeps his word. Abraham loved his son deeply. Isaac was his joy, his future, his everything. Then one day, God spoke again. But this time, the request was shocking. Abraham, take your son, your only son Isaac, the one you love, and go to the mountain I will show you. And then came the unthinkable. Offer him there. No confusion, no misunderstanding. Abraham heard God clearly, and yet, he didn't argue. He didn't protest. He didn't delay. Early the next morning, Abraham got up, gathered the supplies, and began the journey with Isaac. Imagine that walk. Every step heavy, every thought loud, no explanations, just obedience. As they walked together, Isaac noticed something strange. He saw the wood, he saw the fire, but there was no sacrifice. So he asked a simple, but painful question. We have the fire and we have the wood, but where is the sacrifice? That question must have pierced Abraham's heart. Yet Abraham replied with quiet faith, God will provide. He didn't know how. He didn't know when. But he trusted God anyway. When they reached the mountain, Abraham built the altar and arranged the wood. This was the moment where faith met action. Abraham believed that God would still keep his promise, even if he couldn't understand how. And just before anything could happen, a voice called out, Abraham, Abraham. God stopped him and said, do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld your son from me. At that moment, Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in a bush. God had provided the sacrifice. Isaac was spared. The promise was protected. And Abraham learned something powerful.